Going to be a little bit feisty this morning, so let's be a little bit careful here. Market is selling off here due to inflation fears across the board, which has always been an issue. But hey, every now and then it decides this is the time to move. So let's give you our levels and let's see what happens. Our pivot this morning is 41.33, 41.33. Resistance on the upside of 42.50. 58, 65, and 74. Support below at 24, 18, 11, 02, 40, 95. Pivot 33, support 24, 18, 11, 02, and 40, 95. Resistance on the upside at 42, 50, 58, 65, and 74. All right, let's be a little bit careful here. We usually are looking for 2 to 3 points on our entry points. We're probably going to have to extend that a little bit with our stops at maybe 3 to 4 or maybe even 5 points because of the extra volatility that we're going to incur here. As long as we know what the volatility is and how much we have to be careful, you can adjust your trading volume to adjust for the extra volatility in the market. There are the levels imprinted in the chat box area. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the chat box area. I will see them faster, and also you'll be able to ask any questions that you might want to ask in the chat box area as I have that window up. So again, the market is here turning over here a little bit due to the inflation fears that are engulfing the market is, I guess, going to be an overriding factor going forward until it's not, until the new situation or the new factor that the market looks at becomes an issue. So be patient, be careful. Obviously, we're going to have some added volatility. So a couple ways you can deal with the volatility is trade a little smaller. If not, just if you're trading 1 lots or 2 lots, just keep your scales a little bit bigger. If you're trading 1 lot, just pick one spot, whether you're going to take top end of the value to bottom end and trade that. Whatever the situation is, just take into consideration the added volatility and make sure you keep your stops in, whatever they may be, 3 to 4 points minimal. Maybe some of you will go 5. And all those things are at least doable with the added volatility that's in the market. All right. So as long as we understand what is in front of us, so we can deal with it, right? That's the most important thing. So we know that there's added volatility, so be a little bit careful. That's all. All right. Welcome to some of the new folks that are here. We are trading mini S&Ps. We are trying to find those inflection points that create opportunity to scalp the market. We're looking, again, usually 2 to 3 points on our trades. But today, because of the added volatility, probably looking at 3 to 4 points, maybe even 5, depending on how much risk you want to take. And if that's a little bit risky, just be a little bit patient as the market will settle down here after the initial morning burst. And we'll go from there. So thanks, Don. Appreciate that. The VIX is up to 22. Again, this is where we get some movement and volatility, and you have to be kind of on your toes here. And again, this is where we like the market to be. Gives us not crazy volatility like we were having a year ago, but kind of controlled somewhat. But no matter what, make sure you have your stops in place so that we don't get run over by any surprise move. All right. So, like I said, the market here is kind of floating back and forth around our pivot area. So kind of a little neutral. Let's see what it wants to do. Obviously, on the downside, if it starts, we have our 24 there, but you got to keep your stop in there no matter what, especially with the added volatility, because you never know when they're going to extend. All right. So board down at the 24 area, and it's kind of just hovering between both levels here. So be a little bit patient. Again, keep in mind we have some quick volatility. It's moving very fast. You have to be quick on your toes. Your levels have to, whatever you decide, whatever money contracts you're going to trade, given the extra volatility, you have to keep it in place and keep your stop in place. And that way we can handle the volatility and kind of accept it, because we're going to get quick returns one way or the other. So you don't have to be concerned about not having a chance to get your money back if we lose money on one or two trades, because we are getting opportunities, that's for sure. But it is what it is. We take each day as it comes, and each day is different, as you can see. Yesterday was a little bit slow in the morning, and they definitely picked it up in the afternoon, and they sold it off. And that's why we always talk about not trading in the afternoon, because of the different dynamics that come into place. And those dynamics, are important, because they'll give you the opportunity to make money. If they work, if our methodology works correctly, it'll give us a chance to make some money. But the dynamics change as the afternoon goes on, so you have to be a little bit careful. The levels can run over a little bit. You have to trade smaller. All those things come into play. But then again, that's what we teach you in our education course with our methodology, is how to use how to handle the trade and when to trade it, and stuff like that. Can we repeat the levels in the chat box area, please, for us? Those of you who might have missed it, we've come back up here to our pivot. So kind of going a little nowhere fast kind of situation here. Can we repeat the levels if you can put them in the chat box area? There we go. We're going up and down very fast there, Robert. All right, market is kind of bouncing around. Let's see if we have any numbers coming out this morning. Again, there's a total reaction to just a lot of commodities yesterday going up. And that's definitely, and we talked about it yesterday, that the market is definitely going to be looking at inflation issues. Not a surprise. Let's see. We have, wow, we definitely have a lot of Fed speaks today. And one of the Fed speaks might have said something that could have triggered this move yesterday, at least the beginning of the move. I read it someplace. I just can't find where I put it. But anyway, let's see. At 9:30, there's a Fed speak. At 11, there's a Fed speak. At 12, there's a Fed speak. At 12:15, there's another Fed speak. And at 1, there's a Fed speak. They are out in force. They are really out in force. All right, we're kind of just dipping down to the 26 area and then popping back up. Again, now we have 24, so it's obviously and not doing much for us, and then rotating back up here to the pivot area. So kind of a little bit touch and go here as to which way this wants to go. Touch and go. Yeah. So we have a lot of Fed speaks today. There's no economic reports coming out, and there is a 3-year note auction that's going to be released. Results going to be released at 12 o'clock Chicago time. Again, not a big market, but because of inflation issues, all of a sudden auctions and how they are received and how it reflects to the yield has become a little bit of an issue that we might be concerned about. So I tell you about them so that you know that if there's some movement, or maybe you don't like to trade at that moment in time, or right around 12 Chicago time, that you should be a little bit careful. And that's all. Okay. So it'll be out at 12-ish Chicago time. Yeah, we're just kind of hovering around our pivot, kind of going nowhere fast. So nothing to be too concerned about for the time being. Look out below. A flurry of inflation jitters clobbered tech stocks on Monday as the Nasdaq dropped 2.4% for its worst day since March. The yield on a 10-year note also rose 3 basis points to 1.6. Hitting growth names that depend on low interest rates to fuel expansion. Now, while the Dow Jones Industrial snapped a 5-seat session winning streak after pushing above 35,000 milestone. Things don't look better this morning as the Nasdaq futures are off 1.4% to weighed and are weighing on the broader market. Contract linked to the Dow and the S&P down about 1%, respectively. While most of Europe and Asia are also in the red. Time to buy puts. Shares of semiconductor companies are among the biggest decliners, along with cloud computing, while big tech stocks came under pressure as well. Facebook is down 2% pre-market, still at $300 a share, tumbling 4% on Monday, while Tesla slid another 3.5% to $600 a share. The market continues to uptick. We got a resistance up here at the 42 area. All right, kind of just, again, kind of extending here a little bit, see where it wants to go. Again, just keep your stops in no matter what. Always a key here for us. We touched the 42. I don't know if you got filled up there. All right, we're trying to work in this 42 area here. Again, if you didn't get filled at 42, maybe extend it just a little. Well, you got filled now. Okay. You did make a little bit of an adjustment. You're getting paid off here. Even if you kept it at 42, you're getting paid off. It's a nice little move here. Again, just keep your stop in no matter what. And you got to take some profits too along the way. Even when the markets are kind of whipping around, they're giving us an opportunity here. And a nice little quick 3-point rotation there off of our 42 area. So again, we have to extend our stops, which you're also extending your profit targets as well. So a nice little trade there for us with virtually no heat whatsoever. So very nice trade there if you did get in. And if you're trying to stay short, we'll cover them. If you're trying to stay short, the 34 area, 33, 34 would be a nice little cover. The one thing about the volatility is you're going to get moves, right? One way or the other. If we can get in at a good spot, then we can take a good chunk of change out of the market. This is just a perfect example here of getting in. You got easily 5 points here if you have a trailing stop. And it was a nice little trade if you were able to jump in there at the 42. Came right up to 42, so he gave you a nice little entry point for you. All right, again, you can see here all we're trying to do is take find little areas of inflection that will give us an opportunity to scalp the market. Again, we are looking for usually about 2 to 3 points, but today, because of the added volatility, we're probably looking at more at 3 to 4, even 5 points, like I said. And we got that in this little rotation here with off of the 42 level. Again, we just have to take each opportunity for what it's worth and just trade off of the levels. If you're just going to do that, just be patient and wait for them. A nice little trade there for you if you did get in. Welcome to some of the new folks that are coming in here. We are trading mini S&Ps. If you look at the chat box area, you'll see the levels that we gave out this morning. You can see our first resistance level there at 42 got triggered, and we had a nice rotation off of it. So hopefully you were able to take advantage of that little move there. And it was a nice little quick drop. So you should have been able to take definitely 3 points easily. And if you're still trying to stay short, cover them down at the 34 or 33 area would be the ultimate nice little trade there for you if you can stay short with anything that you got left over. So that's what we're trying to do here. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. We trade mini S&Ps here on a daily basis. And we're trying to find those opportunities that the market will give us based on the work that we do. We have a trading education class that we offer that helps you find these levels independently of myself and to know how to trade them, know why to get into them, know why they work. If you're new to futures business, this is a good place to be. Again, if you have anything left over, just kind of just keep them, get a small amount, see if we can rotate down, have a trailing stop, see if we can't take a little bit more out of the trade. And like I said, you want to eventually cover them if we get down to 433 area, which is our pivot. That'd be a nice little trade to culminate this first little trade here if we can get down there. And like I said, this is how you can suck out a little bit more than what your stop level is or whatever you're looking at, right? That's okay. So hopefully you're able to jump in there. That was pretty much a riskless kind of trade. It never really got us in any kind of trouble as far as the trade was concerned. I mean, trouble meaning heat. Raul, the education course that we have, why don't I give me your telephone number and I'll give you a call a little bit later on. And we can talk about it. If you just put it to the panelists, there we go. I'll give you a call a little bit later and we can have a little chit chat. If it can help you out, that'd be great. All right, we come back up here, kind of double bottom there, right around the 34 and change area. So if you were watching, probably kind of indication that you wanted to get out at that point. All right, next level of resistance we have is up at the 50 area. I don't know we're going to get up there or not. All I know is that we're trading the volatility in the market. We're trading the ebbs and flows. That's what we're doing here. And so we take whatever opportunities the market gives us, not so much what we want to do or we would like to do. It's not an ideal thing to say that we're going to just jump in here and trade the market. So we have to wait for the market to give us the opportunities to trade. Again, if you have any questions, some of the new folks who might be jumping in here, please jot them down in the chat box area. Next level of resistance we have is up at the 50 area. Again, we're not going to be perfect, so we have to kind of scale into a level. How you scale in is dependent on each individual's risk tolerance and how many contracts you could trade. And we're here to try to help you maximize your opportunities. We have our education course not only teaches you how to find the levels and trade them on your own independently of myself, but also gives you a chance to try to learn your risk tolerance and how to maximize your profit potential. All right, so nice little rotation there against our 42 area. Next level, we have a resistance up at 50. So that's where we're at. And now let's be patient. Time to buy puts. Why would it be time to buy puts? I mean, it's a little late to buying puts right now because they just sucked in all the premium is getting dumped into the put side right now, right? I mean, what is this guy talking about? Meanwhile, prices are rising everywhere. Some are tied to commodities, which are getting scooped up to record pace as the global economy emerges from the coronavirus pandemic. Consumer products are rising for the same reason, but have also been affected by supply chain shortages and logistics log jams. While some spikes can be temporary, like gasoline futures are whipsawed due to the closure of the Colonial pipeline, economists hope that the same will occur with broader industries as supply moves to match demand. Tomorrow, inflation data will come out tomorrow, but economists are already penciling in a rise of 3.5% in April. Wow, it is huge. While consumers and investors might be alarmed that the Fed Reserve is not alarmed. While consumers, the Fed is not. The central bank said it's comfortable allowing inflation to go past the 2% target for a while, as it views the pickup in prices as transitory, whatever transitory means. Quotes, as the market coming back up here to 42 area. Again, we're looking now at 50 as the next level of resistance. Others are more concerned about the outlook, fearing a sooner than expected interest rate rise, and the equities may be at a disadvantage given the uncertainty. That means stocks might go down because everybody's getting a little nervous. It's okay. We like the stocks. We like the volatility. That's where we kind of are looking to make a little bit of money with the extra volatility. Again, the VIX goes up when volatility is injected into the market. That's what we're trying to do here. Casey, you get your problem figured out so you can hear me all right? Probably not. She can't hear us, at least initially. All right, market continues to uptick here. Got resistance around the 50 area. All right, the market has quickly rotated up here to our 50 area. Again, just keep your stop in, no matter what. All right. If you, again, just make sure you keep your stops in. I keep mentioning that over and over again because we don't know when the market's going to continue to rally or not. It is what it is. Back up here now. We got the next level of resistance is up at 58. All right. Also, our green band's coming in there at 59. Got up here to the 54 area against our 50. So again, depending on how you are keeping your stops in, depends if you're given a chance here to scratch it. I know it seems a lot extreme, but again, we talked about at least 3, 4, 5 points today. So if you got 3, obviously you got stopped, and anywhere in there, you're kind of working the area. And it is giving you a chance here to scratch some of them, so not the worst idea. And again, your scaling also is a little bit different, right? Your scaling's got to be a little bit different than how you'd normally scale in. So you're not scaling in like a half a point above and below anymore. Not with this thing moving like it is. It's probably looking at 2 points at least against a level. So that's just the nature of the beast right now, which is, like I said, any of that stuff is okay as long as it gives us an opportunity to trade. That's all we can ask for. I'd market to give us a chance to scratch it down there on the rotation back down. If you got any leftovers, see if we can rotate back down. I would cover them down at the 44 area. This level of resistance is up at 58. And again, our blue bands, green bands coming in there at 59. So kind of be a little bit how you enter your trades up here is key, right? Keeps you in the game. It definitely is giving you a chance here to get out of that trade, maybe a little less than, what everybody's, what your expectations are for stops. Sometimes you just got to take what the market's giving you. That's all. It's not giving you a profit, it's giving you a little less loss, and just take it. They're giving you a scratch, take it. Not always going to work out like the 42 level, but it gives you opportunities to work a trade, work a level. And that's what we had here. Yeah, well, it does know how to get you right back, right? So the market does. Sometimes you just got to work a trade. This 50 area. We're definitely working, depending on how you are trading it. Definitely have to keep you in the game. You definitely have to lower your contract so that you can manage to trade when it kind of runs on us a little. Okay, I keep saying that to some of the folks that are trading multiple contracts. Yes, the pivot did work off very nicely there. If you did buy the pivot off the morning, it kind of was floating on both sides for a while there, so it was kind of hard to say, which way it was going to go or not. Again, everybody trades a little bit differently. There's not one person here that trades the same way. How you manage your trades is an individualized thing, definitely, and that's a good thing, because that means that everybody has a chance to, trade out of a trade if you're in it, not trade at all if you don't have to, if you don't like the volatility. Those are all options that you have as a trader. And you have to make those determinations that fit your profit or risk profile. Whoa. The FDA has announced for the first time, has cleared a coronavirus vaccine use for adolescents aged 12 to 15, paving the way for many to be immunized before summer camp and new school year in the fall. The light is at the end of the tunnel is growing, and today is a little bit brighter, said President Biden in a statement. At least 55 million people in the United States have been so far vaccinated with the Pfizer jab, according to CDC, including about 2 million 16 to 18 kids. The next step, we'll see a committee of experts, the advice the CDC, meet tomorrow to review Pfizer study data and decide whether to recommend a shot for use. The federal government is meanwhile working at states, pediatricians, pharmacy chains to determine the logistics of administering the vaccine to children. All right, the market is finally turning over here a little bit. We've got support. It would be around the 44, 42 area. All right, we're turning over here a little bit. Again, if you were able to keep like a 5-point stop up there, you are definitely getting paid off here. Again, if you're not, that's fine also. Support level right now, again, a little support around 42 to 44. Real good support would be back around the 34 area. We repost the levels again for us in the chat box area for you. Again, for those of you coming a little bit late, those are the levels that we're using as a guide for the day. We can add to them, we can subtract from them, we can adjust them a little bit based on the volatility and the movement on the price action. All of these things are in addition to the levels. They're nothing's etched in stone here. We have to, adjust your scaling in opportunities. You definitely scale in a little bit differently when the market's more volatile, and which it is right now. You're not scaling in like so close. You're spreading your scales apart, giving you a chance to stay in the market when the market kind of extends and there is some slippage, which is a great word, right? I mean, it's a tough, sometimes there's a little bit too much slippage, which kind of hurts, but that's the pain that you have to go through sometimes as a trader to handle the slippage. I love that word, slippage. All right, continue to downtick here. Again, good support. We'll be back around the 34 area. Yeah, Don, it could definitely go either way from there, right? We did get a little bit of a rotation here off of the 42. We said we had a little support there against 41, 42. Nice quick rotation back up to the 44 area. And now we're just kind of coming back down here, trying to figure out what it wants to do next. Again, next good support will be back around the 33, 34 area. Mm. All right, I'm getting some volatility here. Getting some movements, levels, depending on how you were trading them, how you got around them, worked out for the most part. I mean, the second one was a little bit trickier. If you did take your loss, and then that's fine. If you took your profits on the first one, and then you took your loss on the second one, that's okay. We are trading here. That's all we can ask for. Giving us some markets, giving us opportunity to trade. We had the market is definitely a little nervous, and definitely we don't know. I mean, it's down a lot. Is it down too much, or is it going to continue to break? We don't know. All we can do is trade whatever the market gives us, trade whatever the opportunities are there for us, and then go from there. And just keep your stops in no matter what. That's important. China's population growth is expanding at the slowest pace since the 1950s. According to the census data from the past decade, with the numbers on mainland China increasing 5.3% to 1.4 billion. The working age population, age 15 to 59, is on the decline as well, after hitting a peak a peak in 2011 of 925 million people working. Phew. While the fertility rate was only 1.3 children per woman during the 2020, missing the target of 1.8 that Beijing has set in 2016 as replacing its one child. There's a nice rotation here. We said a little support here at the 335 4 area, and dip right down there and come right back up. Hopefully you are able to jump in there. All right, nice little trade there for you. If you were able to get in, 33 to 34, that got right down to 33, and nice little rotation off of that level. Again, just be patient and wait for the opportunities, and then try to take advantage of it when it's presented itself, and it did there. It's got to be quick, but it was a quick rotation, and those price action plays, you're probably keeping about 2-point stops on them versus the levels that you're expanding your stops there a little bit. And again, if you're trying to stay long here, not the worst idea. See what it wants to do, but again, it could go either way. We could continue to downtick, as Don really said. It really can do anything from here. We just have no idea what it wants to do. I mean, there's a little place to buy them. Hopefully, if you had the orders in there. Hello there, Hokai, I think. If you want to ask any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat box area. If you look at the chat box area, we're going to have our levels imprinted in there. Again, the pivot there was a nice rotation there off of our pivot. If you did buy them down there, you did okay. And a nice rotation off of that pivot area for us. All right. Again, patience is important. If waiting for the opportunities, the price action, it did rotated off of that, got up to 56 and change and came off, but then we got right down to our pivot there, and it was a little bit of a buy there. And I could tell you I bought them in there. So if you had a 33 in there, you should have got in. I also had 34 and 35, so I had them all down there. Good morning there, Philip. How are you? All right, nice rotation there against our pivot area. Hopefully you're able to jump in. And right now, again, kind of a little bit now it's a little dicey. Dicey in the sense that we don't know where it's going to go. We can easily rotate back up. We can easily come back down, almost like the no trade zone. And it's just moving. It's a freight train just waiting just moving. It's not waiting for anybody. When it gets like this, it's good if you're in and you have a trailing stop and you can take a little bit more out of it. So China Statistics Agency even took an unusual step by announcing that the population did grow in 2020, but gave no total, prompting some to speculate that it's an effort to pacify investors and corporations. A race against time. I guess they're concerned about the low growth. An issue is whether the world's second largest economy may already be in an irreversible population decline before accumulating household wealth of the G7 nations. While China has eased birth limits, couples have been put off by the high cost of living, especially in the big cities. The cramping housing, many share apartments with their parents, and the career choices, jobs discrimination faced by mothers. Childcare is also expensive. Maternity leave is short, and most single mothers are excluded from medical insurance or social welfare payments. Japan, Germany, and other rich countries face similar challenges of support aging populations with fewer workers. But services play an important part in their lives, in their economies, and they spent decades of investing on factories, technology, and foreign assets. On the other hand, China is in a middle-income economy that is highly based on manufacturing and labor-intensive farming. While the ruling Communist Party has proposed a series of economic reforms, it's not yet clear if they will be large enough to ease the strain on a nation's underfunded retirement system. All right, we are slip sliding all over the place. Patience is very important. What about the United States? Birth in the United States fell for the sixth consecutive year to the lowest since 1979. According to data from the CDC, and figures probably have little to do with the pandemic. Most babies were conceived beforehand. Total fertility rates and general fertility rates have also declined by 4% since 2019, notching record lows. The United States is presently moving below replacement fertility levels, which is not good for an economy, said some psychological professor at the University of San Diego. We eventually will have fewer working adults caring for the elderly, which further challenges our Social Security system. All right. Well, I guess it's a problem, right? I never thought about it that way, but I guess it's a problem. All right, market is drifting all over the place. I thought you might have done that there mark. It was a perfect entry point. All right, now we're not, again, we're not touching our, well, we never got to 24, did we? So be careful there at 24. I mean, just keep your stop in. Right. Yeah, I never got to 24. But we are rotating quickly off of a high here, so be a little bit careful. Okay, market continues to downtick, support here at 24, but just be a little bit careful. It's coming down really quick, which is fine. I mean, as long as you have your orders in place, you can try to take advantage of it or not. If it decides to stop all of a sudden, big order at 25, big 3,000 lot order coming there at 25 just to stop the market on it. And it'll disappear when it goes back down there, I'm sure. Then another order piggybacked it at 25 and a quarter, another 900 lot order. Well, that one will disappear first, I'm sure. I don't think they really want them. Yeah, the 3,000 lot order already disappeared. And now the other 900 lot order disappeared. Now the market will go down a little bit more. Maybe, maybe not. Again, whatever you do, just keep your stops in. All right, the market is here concerned about inflation, and it's all over the place. And we'll see what it wants to do here. We're going to come and retest this maybe 24 area. All right, market is testing the 24 area. See what it wants to do. Continues to downtick here, coming down to the 18 now. And you got to be quick and keep your stops in place. Definitely whipping around here. No doubt about that, right? All over the place. Again, and when it gets like this, it's all a matter of how you scale in and definitely trade smaller so you can handle the extra volatility that's in the market. Okay, nice little quick rotation there against the 18. Again, like I keep saying, it's how you get into these trades that will keep you in the game when it's moving like this. You can't, if you're trading multiple contracts, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You gotta spread it a little bit so you can give yourself a fair chance, because you are going to get some rotations, as you can see, quick 7-8 point rotations. Could we have gotten short anywhere? Probably below the 33 if we are a little aggressive there. Next support level we have is down at 11. Okay, you gotta stay focused. You gotta stay, when the movement gets quick like that, you have to, stay focused, trade smaller, keep your stops in, wait for the opportunities. I mean, that's all we can do. And keep your stops in. I keep saying that because that's the only thing we can do when the markets are moving around like this. Right now, the resistance would be around the 32, 33 area. Pivot has been definitely pivoting for us. Next level of downside support is at the 18 really worked very nicely there. You just had to, if you were in there at 24, maybe you possibly took the 18 too, because it moved so fast. And then it rotated quickly back up to the 23, 24 area. So it gave you a chance to enter and enter both and definitely average out very nicely and then take a nice little profit off of it. I know it's not what we do, but given the volatility and the quickness of the move, the market really had just kind of gave you no choice almost at that point. All right, market is testing the lows. Not a surprise. Let's see if we can tighten this. There we go. So it looks a little bit nicer. $11 is the next support level that we have. You get 11.02, 40.95. Below that, 87, 81, 74. Below 40.95, we got 87, 81, and 74. Again, I have no idea where the market's going to go or what it's going to do. We can just trade the levels when it's presented to us and go from there and keep your stops in place and try to take advantage of these quick moves, ebbs and flows in the market. Just stay focused and stay patient and keep your stops in. Those are words that you have to live by these days when it's like this. But like I said, you are going to get the opportunity. So as we continue to downtick here, support at the 11 area. All right, you can see here we downticked and got to the 11 and a half. No, we are talking. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes people can't, I don't know how people cannot hear me. Very, very volatile moves here, quick, and you got to stay focused. And again, got to keep your stops and your entry points according to the market's volatility here. You can't, you're scaling in totally a little bit differently than you usually have been. crazy moves all over the place. The only way you can handle the volatility is to trade small and scale a lot differently than you usually are used to. That way it keeps you in the game. Okay, nice rotation there. Got down to 9. Again, not the worst to scale in if you're doing it 2 points at a time. I can see you doing that. And a nice rotation there off of that 9 area and 11. I think you could have done both, I think, easily. If you scale in 2 points would probably be about the right thing to do here. And you're getting a nice little quick rotation here. All right. So you should have been, even if you're not trading multiple contracts, you did buy to 11. You get 5 points easily on the trade here. And again, if you're keeping a 3 or 5 point, 4 or 5 point stop, you're still doing okay with the trade, and you're getting paid off. Is all I'm saying. And you have to handle. You got to be able to handle the extra volatility that's in the market. And again, different ways of dealing with it. I'm suggesting if you're trading multiple contracts, you're trading smaller, and your trades, your scales, I should say, are definitely expanded a little bit. All right, so we gave you some levels down below. We got 02, 40, 95, and below that 87, 81, and 74. There they are in the chat box area. Resistance right now would be around the 33 area up on top. And there's nothing to say that it won't get there in the way that's moving. You just never know, right? You just never know. And whatever the situation is, just keep your stop in. If you're trying to have a trailing stop with this, if you bought them down there and you want to try to stay long, you can definitely do that. Probably right now below 8, you want to be out of any longs. I know it's a long, big stop, but yeah, it's right there. You got that right, Don. 74, top and bottom, baby. 74. Damn hootin' tootin' correct. Hootin' tootin', that's like a Texan phrase. Had to throw that in there for Don's sake. Hootin' tootin'. No idea what that means. I don't even know if it's a Texan thing. I don't even know if it's a word. I don't even know how you spell it. Well, no, not lately. Not lately. But, surprisingly enough, bonds just kind of hanging. 157 handle. It's not really it's not really a big deal there. I'm surprised that it's kind of just hanging. All right, we see the double top there, and we have a double bottom. Anything above 20 may rotate a little bit higher. Anything below 08 might down tick to 02, as the market here is concerned about inflation. Getting a little very, very whippy. Be very, very careful and keep your stops in place. Can't mention it enough because that's what we have to do. That is what we have to do in this market. And for those of you who trade multiple contracts, you definitely have to, scale in differently, lower your size a little bit to take into consideration the added volatility that's in the market. Yeah, it's going to be a little nutty when I'm listening to the business thing this morning, and they're like, "Oh, the market's down. We don't know why. It's like early down." I'm like, "Okay." All right, next level on the downside is down at the O2 area. Quickly diving down there, hitting those stops below 08. I think everybody had 08. Losing left and right. Well, you got it's a tough one when you're not used to the volatility there, Raul. But it gets a little bit tough. You have to trade small, or sometimes my recommendation, if you're not used to the volatility, is kind of step back and not trade, wait for the market to settle down a little. I mean, I get it. I understand. It's all about getting in and how you scale in and how you deal with the volatility. I get it. This is if you're not used to it, and again, we haven't really had these kind of markets for a while. So I understand the nervousness and if you're nervous about, if you're having a little bit of trouble with the market and making a little bit of money, it's tough. So they ripped it right down to the new low and right up to a new high. Interim, and makes some people happy, Don, and makes some people. I mean, we would have loved it if it got down a couple more ticks there. It got down to 375. I mean, I had my entry point there at 3, 2, and at 1. And it got down to 375. I guess Don got in. Oh, Don, of course Don had 4.5. He doesn't tell me that. No, sir. No. Don tells me now that he has 4.5. Great. Thanks, Don. I appreciate it. Thanks, sharing the wealth with me. Thanks. I appreciate it. It doesn't matter. You didn't tell me when I wanted to know. When did you say that? When did you tell me 04? I'm looking back. I don't remember you saying 04 ever. Oh yeah, I did. All the way. Oh yeah. Okay, you did. I take it back. It was. There's a lot of stuff going on at that moment in time, right? I probably missed it, and some other text came in, or chats came in. I probably didn't even see it. I don't remember seeing that whole scenario right there that you wrote at all. So something was. I missed that whole chat. That one little area there. But you did. I take it back, Don. You did. You said 04. I missed it. Sorry. You did share the wealth, except I didn't see it. I would have got in at 4. No, definitely. And then the worst part was that it rotated and popped up above that double top really fast. I mean, just in the same minute almost. Don was really happy there. Good job, Don. So now we have O2. Again, I had my entry point was a 3, so I got to adjust that here a little bit. Obviously, the 2 is a lot more riskier now than it was a little bit ago. It was a good ride. You're still riding it, I'm sure. Resistance would be the 33, 32 area. All right. Gotta love the volatility, right? I mean, I know it's sometimes a little scary, and I know sometimes you could lose a little bit of money, but if you stay focused and just keep your stop in there and wait for the opportunity, don't get flustered by the movement. Just wait for an entry point or a good trade, something that you can visualize and see or understand. Then take that instead of just jumping in. Sometimes you feel like you have to catch something, but it moves so fast that it's just not doable that way. You have to be patient and wait for it to do something for you. The big miss in the non-farm payrolls expectation for April has put increased pressure on the dollar since Friday, as the greenback recorded its biggest one-day slide in 5 months. In fact, the U.S. dollar index has fallen decisively below its 2021 uptrend, putting it back to a little change for the year, as it recorded a decline of 10% since March of 2020, just prior to the pandemic. A relief rally started in the 20s and 21 saw Goldman Sachs cancel its short call on the dollar, and many scrambled to cover positions, but the recent downtrend is leaving other Wall Street bears feeling vindicated. As the market continues to uptick here, looking at the 32 to 33 area as a little resistance. We continue to see the peaking U.S. exceptionalism narrative playing out through a weaker dollar over time due to the dovish Fed, benign risk appetite, and global recovery, wrote an analyst at Citibank. Last month, the group said the greenback could fall another 20%, and JP Morgan and TR wrote Price also, among others, predicting more losses ahead. We expect the dollar to weaken further given the diminishing appeal for the safe haven currency, as long as the global economic picture and risk appetite improve further. Aggregate net short positions in the dollar versus a major peer hit $10 billion last week from $4 billion in mid-April, according to data from the CFTC. Bearish bets totaled $31 billion in January. That's a lot. That's a lot. The next move for the greenback could depend on whether the Fed will let the economy run hot. Last month, policymakers suggested expectations for interest rates that could be kept next to zero through 2023, but some money markets are positioning for a rate rise sooner than that. Others suggest that even if the Fed could move early, the relationship has changed, as well as the currency's traditional role with equities. Once upon a time, a weaker dollar was seen as a boon for U.S. equities, but the stronger buck didn't prevent the continuous stock market highs that were notched in the first quarter. So there's the dollar warning by everybody. Careful. If you can travel over abroad, then go for it. I think I told you my story about the dollar, weakness of the dollar. So my daughter in her senior year at University of Maryland. Calls me up. I was in Vegas. I was in Vegas, and she calls me up. Oh, well, I call my wife and I'm talking to her, and she goes, "Oh, Rebecca needs to ask you something. She'll call you back in a little bit." Now she's in Maryland. Obviously, my wife is in Chicago, and I was in Vegas. My daughter calls me up, "Dad, I got this foreign to go study abroad for 6 months." Oh, great. I go, "How much is that going to be?" So on top of the tuition that I was paying at Maryland, there was going to be like another 10 grand. I'm like, for 6 months more. I mean, no, this makes sense. Okay, like, great. She was going to go to Venice, right? So it was nice. And it's nice. So she goes. Of course, I can say no, right? And she goes at the time when the dollar to the euro was at the highest ever, right? I mean, it's like $140 to the euro, right? I mean, yeah, it's 140 to the euro at the time. And of course, she's like calling me up, "Dad, I want to do this. Dad, I'll take okay. I want to go here. I want to fly there. You're in Venice, so you can go like Greece. You can go to London. You can go to Europe. Anywhere is really cheaper because you're right there." Of course, she goes at the dollar was the most expensive ever versus the euro in the 6 months that she was there. And then about a year later, it's like 20% less. Like, great timing there. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's what happened with the dollar story. All right, market continues to uptick here. That was my dollar story. Otherwise, I've never really cared about what happens. So, I usually don't go anywhere. So it's not like I'm worried about it. But of course, when it affects you personally, all of a sudden you think about it a little bit more. But I really don't really. As far as we're concerned, we just trade our markets. It's amazing how they tell you can go to Florence and spend 6 months there, but the tuition that we paid here in Maryland doesn't cover the Florence trip. Even though she's going to Florence, she's going to school there in Florence. I mean, okay. So where's that tuition money go? It's like, why doesn't that take care of the tuition in Florence since we already paid it? Of course, it's her senior year, so it's like, and she graduated in 2007 or 2008. I don't remember what it was, right in the midst of the financial crisis. And of course, she majored in finance. So that was fun to try to, and she was a little nervous about coming out of school and, finding a job. I tell you one thing: as soon as they get out of school and they come back home, they don't want to stay home. I mean, they do not want to stay home. As soon as she came home, she was like, she didn't have a job yet because she was, obviously no bank was hiring or no financial institution was hiring. It was the midst of the financial crisis. And so she was like going to go back to school to get her CPA, and she was staying home, and she was miserable staying home. I've never seen anybody more miserable, free rent and everything. And, but she eventually, she did get a job at a bank, believe it or not. And then moved out as soon as she can. It was boom, out of here. Adios. As soon as she can. As soon as she got a job to work for 2 months, she's like, I'm out of here. I'm like, okay. Now she's doing very well for herself, working at Morgan Stanley. And I can tell you honestly that after listening to her yell at one of her peers or one of her underlings, I don't know who it couldn't have been one of her peers, one person that she worked in her group, I definitely don't want to work for her. I've come to that conclusion. I can just say that she's my daughter and be very proud of her. She was rough. She was rough to work for. Man, I was like taken aback by what she was. She had to work from home one time, and she came work from our house, and it was during the pandemic and everything. So, and she had a conference call, and boy, did she yell at this guy. Oof, or girl, I don't even know, but oh my god, it was it was something. So she gets this new job at Morgan Stanley at the beginning of the pandemic. So she's like finding these uh, she's finding these areas. She always these turning points in life in the market to get new jobs. So she gets this new job in Morgan Stanley in New York, and she was supposed to actually move there. And right at the beginning of the pandemic, I mean, right in March last year, it's a year ago. Well, now it's becoming a little bit more than a year ago, but anyway. And so she goes there, and then she didn't even go there. She did the interview, and when Morgan Stanley is a big corporation, they send you the human resources, you get a contract and everything, So, and in there it says she was supposed to move to New York, and she never made it. Never made it. Never met her new boss. Doesn't know, she was supposed to go and live there, and this is the new world we live in. So she's been thriving at Morgan Stanley without even meeting her new boss. But this is what they do nowadays. It's crazy, right? Crazy. Is she more like mom or dad? Well, her feistiness and her take no holds barred is definitely her dad. But she's, I mean, like I said, I was a little surprised because I've never seen her like that. I was kind of proud for a minute, but she's definitely mommy's girl. Let's put it that way. She and her mom get along perfectly fine. I can just no. No. I said the feistiness is my fault. I did not blame it on Julie. She just gets along with Julie better, and she gets along with me. That's a totally different. That's a totally different thing. No, her feistiness is definitely me. I've said a lot of mean things to a lot of people around me. Traders when I've been trading when I was working. Can't take any BS from anybody. That I totally get. That's funny. So they have a micro Bitcoin futures, by the way, in case you guys are thinking about it. And it just started 6 days ago, and it has pushed the volume pushed past the 100,000 mark in just 6 days. Can you imagine that? Just in 6 days. Micro Bitcoin, BTC, I think it's a symbol there. I am not trading it. I'm not trading it. I don't understand it. I can't. I mean, I really would like to, but I'd rather trade something I understand or at least comprehend. All right, you can see here we're in the kind of no trade zone here, right? We kind of got to our lower levels, and then we're just we had 32 to 33 areas, some resistance. We didn't get up there. We got up to 27 area and came back off. So not doing anything in this little area here. That's why I'm telling you all kinds of stupid stories. We are going to start trading down here a little bit. Our next support level, again, adjust a little bit there to the O2 because of the Don's O4. They got triggered very nicely, and coming back up here a little bit, coming back down. So maybe trade the lower end and a 1, maybe even somewhere in that range. And if you want to skip it altogether, you can wait to 95. That's definitely doable also. So those are all options that you have, and it's okay if you miss a trade. Not the end of the world. Okay, Don, you are ripping it today. Nice call. Oh, come on, man. You are. Yeah, I know. I understand sometimes. I mean, when it's moving like this and you expect an extra tick or two and you don't get it, I get it. I get it. I get how you could. It's a little frustrating. That I do get because I've missed them by a couple ticks and it's like, whoa. Send you a link for what? I tell you, Philip, can you repeat your telephone number again, and I'll give you a call. We could see if we could exactly what you need and how we can help. How's that? Can you re-enter your telephone number, and I'll give you a call a little bit later. Okay, I will give you a call in a little bit as soon as we take a little bit of a break here, as market is kind of keeping me busy here a little bit, but that's fine. Again, the late afternoon trade it has its own dynamics and has its own little thing, so you have to be a little bit careful there. Obviously, anything could happen today with this movement. Ask and you shall receive there, Don. Look at you. Look at you. I mean, are you going to be like stopping trading soon? Because, I mean, you should be. That's a pretty good call there, too. Don is just like on a roll today. But then again, he's on a roll because, there's days when he's not on a roll. I don't talk about Don's trades. So we just keep it like, I'm happy to tell you that he's making those calls today and they're hitting for him. I think Don's going to be taking the afternoon off. Again, still resistance around the 31, 33 area. Bonds are on their lows. Again, with the concept and thought of higher rates, that's what should happen. But it's also not good that bonds and S&Ps are going down, which is going to happen, which we talked about yesterday. All right, this again gets us into this no trade zone area that we talked about every now and then. And even though it's a larger no trade zone area because of the extra volatility, it still is a no trade zone area. You don't want to get too involved here because you'd be guessing. The range game is very wide and big. Obviously, if you catch it right, you could be making some good money. But if you catch it wrong, you're probably going to get stopped out. And then you're going to get yourself into, oh, let's try this range game or this train. Let's try this range game. It becomes a little bit of an issue, right, after a while. The yield on a 10-year is roughly about 1.625. So that is 5/8, 1 and 5/8 yield, 1.625. So it's talking about the infrastructure in China and how advanced it is as far as our infrastructure. From Beijing to Shanghai, a distance of 800 miles. The train, that supersonic fast little train that they have over there, takes 4.3 hours to go from Boston to DC, which is 440 miles. Boston to DC, 7 hours by train. So they have, you can see how infrastructure, and my cousin went to China. He said the infrastructure there is amazing. That's where we have to get to. And that's one area that he did bring out more than anything else. All right, the market continues to uptick here a little bit, a little resistance around the, again, 31 to 33 area. It's coming up here against our blue band if you're a little aggressive. And 31 to 33, so I have some resistance. As we quickly come up here to the 33 area. Yeah, market work in the 33 area here if you are. If not, then just wait Well, we don't have any really good resistance until the 40, well, 45 area. That's the next level of resistance. They kind of maybe rotated back up, maybe a little bit too much selling. I don't know. Who knows? Next really good upside, we traded to 50, so we're only well. We also got up to the 56 area, so we are definitely don't have anything really till much higher. So again, just keep your stop in if you're going to trade it. No big deal if it stops you out. Again, kind of tough here to figure out where it wants to go next, as we're going to see if we can hold here above our blue band. Maybe we get a little bit bullish on the market. Again, we've come here to the end of the morning session, kind of a very volatile and quick-moving session, but we warned you that we warned you of that before the day started. So the market is definitely, you know, giving us some opportunity. You just have to be patient and wait for them. And hopefully, we were able to take advantage of some of the levels that we had and trade around them as the market continues to uptick here. Again, looking at turning the market's turned a little bit bullish on the market. Trying to keep you long now. Support will be back around 33 area, but market is definitely taking off now here to the upside. Support will be back around the 33 area. That's what you're looking. And anything below, well, just keep your stop in whatever the proper stop is that you're looking at. All right, get back here in a bit.
Hey, a couple quick shout outs and programming notes. Hey, Emile, are you back? Let me know in chat, Emile. Greg W, let me know if you're back. Greg W. Henry G, let me know if you're back. Henry G. Hokey, let me know if you're back. Hokey. Jay, let me know if you're back. John S. Hey, Judah B. Use the chat feature to respond. Hey, Kate C. Let me know. Nate P. And Wout B. Let me know. I'll give you a quick update on what we're doing here, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, and what the opportunities for you are based on these services. Give me a quick high sign that you can hear me. Hear my voice. Hey, John, how are you? It's fun. I don't even know how to make that. I'm sure it's there somewhere. I don't even know how to make that symbol. I'll give you a quick update and overall information on what Sol does on a daily basis. This is an opportunity for you as traders, whether you're new or experienced, to, as a new trader, get the right start, get set up properly, pick the right software, right brokerage house, right order entry. If you have order entry already, if you already have a brokerage house, you can consult with us on whether that's the best opportunity for you based on data speed and order entry. If you're an experienced trader and you want to start developing what we call consistent profitability, Sol's trading methodology is a price action trading methodology that he has honed over the last 25 years or so. It's focused on key levels and key areas or zones that he sets right around the cash open. Right now it's 11:40 a.m. We're done with the morning session. I think one of the things that come up from time to time is if you haven't made your money or banked your money between the hours of 9:30 cash open in New York to 11:30, end of the morning session here, then ask for a trading consultation so that you can find out what you're missing and how to add Sol's price action trading methodology to your trading and how to add his proprietary scalping areas to your trading. He does give them out to everybody. He gave out the levels this morning. I'll do a repeat. He had the pivot at 41.33. He had support at 24, 18, 11, 02, 40.95, 87, and 81, and 74. He had resistance at 42, 50, 58, 65, and 74. So think about that for a minute. He gave you a roadmap for this morning's trade. These are zones that he's looking at to put trades on. He does adapt and tweak his levels based on the current market condition and what's happening. And that's part of the morning commentary here. Hey, thanks for reposting the levels, Mark. So if you're coming in as a guest, I will send out an opportunity to sign up for Sal's Friends and Family. If you're looking to develop what we call consistent profitability based on your trading, stick around. Learn the poem, ask questions. I sent it out to everybody now. If you're coming in from the outside, join us on the inside. There's a lot that goes on both publicly and privately here as part of Sal's Friends and Family. And for those that have decided to be part of Sal's Friends and Family and sign up for his trading course and his mentoring work. And that's an opportunity where you work with him privately and personally. Hey, Wout, are you back? Let me know in chat. Wout B. Hey, Philip, I believe Sal's going to be reaching out to you today. Just let me know if you're in earshot. Hey, Nate P, let me know if you're back. Nate. Kate C, let me know if you're back. Judah B, let me know if you're back. John S. Hey, Philip, yeah, he had mentioned to me that he was going to reach out to you about the trading education. Hokie, let me know if you're back. Hokie. J, the letter J. I don't think I ever heard from you, Jay. Let me know back in chat if you're in earshot. And not a problem. I think it's a great place to start, Philip. And then he can also tune you in on what we talked about yesterday. Amelia, let me know if you're back. Hey, Frank. Use the chat feature to respond. Joel, you mean you've been Jay the whole time? I think you told me that a while ago. Because I had somebody come in with the J before. Not a problem. Hey, Joel, I see that you're back in. Yeah, that was a good mystery you solved because I thought Jay was somebody else. But I think you had told me that a while ago. I think I just forgot. Hey, Wouty, you back? Nate P, are you back? Kate C, let me know if you're back. Judah B, let me know if you're back. Use the chat feature to respond. Hokey, let me know. And Amelie. Hey, Nate, how are you? Hey, Nate, how can I help you based on Sol's services? Is there any questions I can answer? Can answer about Sol's friends and family. We could talk about getting set up to trade. Let me know where you are on the curve. Hey, Nate, just let me know if you're hearing me. Amelia, let me know if you're back. Wout, let me know if you're back. Kate C, Judah, Hokie, let me know if you're back. Use the chat feature to respond. Trying to create a dialogue to see if I can help anybody. We had a great morning session. I think it speaks for itself. Kate, how can we help you based on your trading? You know, we do this every day. If you'd like to be part of it, certainly let us know. That's okay. Are you looking to... So the morning session is between 9:30, 9:25, and 11:30 a.m. If you'd like to have Sal teach you or mentor you based on the trade, that can be worked out based on your schedule and his schedule. If you want me to, or Sal to give you a ring up on the phone, that's something that we could also do too after hours, after your hours, your work hours. Just depends on what works for you. So, Kate, what I can do is I can send you to friends and family so you can just come and go as you please at that special discount. Let me send it out to you now. So at least I know you have it. That might work out best for what you're trying to do. Nate, I'll do the same for you. So you have it. And you can get the deal. Amelia, let me know if you're back. Wout, let me know if you're back. Hokey, let me know if you're back. And Judah, let me know if you're back. Hey, Nate or Kimberly and Kate, if you decide to sign up for the friends and family, I'll authorize you for it to roll over at the same discounted price. Just let me know if when you do it. Hokey, I'll do the same. Amelia, I'll do the same. And Judah, I'll do the same. Just let me know. And Wout, I'll do the same. Hey, Gabriel. Welcome to Sol Zoom Trade Along. We're focused here on the S&P 500 E-mini. Hey, Judy, you're back. Let me know in chat. Judah, Wout, let me know if you're back. Hey, Gabriel, welcome aboard. Our hours here, just so you know, we start here at about 9 a.m. We open up the service, the Zoom connection to the E-mini Zoom Trade Along. Sol, your host and mentor, who is a CME Group floor member, he's actively scalping the S&P 500 E-mini for his own account based on his price action trading methodology and strategy. He comes in pretty close to the cash open at 9:30. He gives out his levels and zones that he's using in his own trading. He gives them out to everybody. We go through the morning session together. So it's about 9:25-ish. We wrap it up at about 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Hey, Wout, welcome back. Hey, Wout, were you able to pay attention to the morning session? You know, get Sol's levels, go through the morning session with him. Wow, so you got sound now. Okay. So do you need me to do a sound check with you? Just let me know back in chat. Oh, great. So we're here on a daily basis. This is a service. It's an E-mini trade along. We're concentrated on doing 2, 3, 4, 5 trades during the morning session, the first 2 hours of the trade after the bell. Had a good morning. Those individuals that are part of Sol's service had a good morning also. Good morning means profits versus losses. So well, that's a very good point. So the trades are based on Sol's proprietary scalping levels. So what Sol does is he sets levels for his own trading and his own price action entries, exits, and stops right around the cash open. So he sets a pivot, a price, and other levels on top and bottom of that pivot. So that becomes his roadmap and discipline for the morning session. He believes doing that gives him an advantage over other traders based on their trading this morning, and he can take advantage of that and make money trading in and around those levels. So let me give you the levels that he put together this morning and he gave out to everybody that's part of this service. So I'm scrolling back to find the levels based on the posting of the levels this morning. The first level he calls a pivot. Now that level was 41. Let me just see something here. Okay, good. So I wanted to make sure that Gabriel had them also. Gabriel, do you see the levels in the chat? Or do you have a blank chat when you came in? You know, the chat area. Okay, good. So I'll read them out to you. So yes, so they're put in the chat in the morning. So they're given out in audio. And again, they're the basis of the activity that Sol does based on his own trading. And he's looking to teach you to do the same. Now, there is some adaptation, there's some tweaking and adjustment based on the action of price after the opening bell. The opening bell here is at 9:30. Sol sets his levels right around 9:30 because they're more valid for the trading morning if they're set then. He gives them out to everybody in audio, and he has them, an associate of his puts them in, and he puts them in the chat area so that he doesn't have to keep repeating them. And as people come in, they ask for them, and it's always good to have them in the chat area. So we have the pivot at 41.33, 41.33. Then he has a various support and resistance areas that he's looking at, and these become the go-to areas. But remember, his commentary, things can shift based on the reality of price change and price movement in the S&P 500 E-mini. So we had support at 24, 18, 11, 02, 40.95, 87, 81, and 74. He had resistance at 42, 50, 58, 65, and 74. Now, what I think one of the most important things is to note is that individuals that were part of Sol's service today, including Sol, had a good trading morning based on these levels. And based on his running commentary during the morning session, he could have adjusted and tweaked. But there's a participatory interaction between you and him. So there's communication that goes back and forth based on the reality of this morning's trade. So that's really the give and take that happens. That's the opportunity that presents itself for you as attendees and part of his friends and family, which are part of the service. So I'm going to send out that too, because that's important for you to know. Now this is going to come out to everybody, all attendees and panelists. And that's the opportunity to become part of Sol's friends and family. Come, go as you please. It's usually $379 a month. That's on for $100. So take advantage of it. And that's what we do every day. And that's the opportunity for those that come in out of his service. He also has, for friends and family, the opportunity to be taught by him personally and privately in private session. And that's for a select group of the people that are part of his friends and family. And that's something that you can attach yourself to at any time, you know, based on your relationship with him. Hey, Amelia, you back? Let me know in chat, Amelia. Hokey, let me know if you're back, Hokey. Wow, hopefully that helped you based on your sound being back and being able to clue in. And Gabriel, the same. That's great. And if you like what we're doing here, tell your friends. Just give them the same link to come in. This is an E-mini Zoom trade along. It's really centered on 2 hours a day in the morning. I always say if you haven't made your money by 11:30 a.m., raise your hand. Let's talk about it. Of course, make sure you're signed up for friends and family. So nominal, it really just separates you out from the rest of the people that have not become part of friends and family for whatever reason. It gets a little crazy, you know. And Hokey, let me know if you're back. Mile, let me know if you're back. Gabriel, if you have any more questions, or Wout, if you have any questions, just let us know. I'll be in the background. Take a moment if you want to sign up for Sol's Friends and Family. That's the offer. Hey, Kurt, I'll read them out to you again. He had the pivot at 41.33, support at 24, 18, 11, 02, 40.95, 87, 81, and 74. He had resistance at 42, 50, 58, 65, and 74. I would also note that, remember, there's adjustments and tweaking going on based on the morning session, so some of that might have changed on the fly. But I think you already know that, but that's great. Just let me know how I can help you. You got it.